In this video, I'm going to tell you why the more leads you have, the less money you make. And I'm going to tell you how to solve this problem so you can start taking listings and making money immediately. Now, I know this sounds like a contradiction to you. Well, wait a minute. What do you mean the more leads I have, the less money I make? I have been told by other coaches, trainers, or maybe even my broker that 70% of my business comes from lead follow-up. So I have to get a lot of leads and I have to follow up with these leads over and over and over again. That is a lie that keeps agents broke and frustrated. I'm going to explain all of this to you, and I know it will make sense. The first problem it creates, I wrote this down, is let's say you decide to prospect and you decide to call some expired listings and for sale by owners, my favorites, because they want to sell the house. So you call this expired listing and they say, oh, I'm not selling anymore. Maybe I'll consider next year. Oh, okay. I completely understand. I'll call you next year. What happens here? I'm not selling anymore is an objection. The problem is, since agents believe that 70% of their business comes from lead follow-up, the first objection they hear, they say, oh, okay, I'll put you in my lead follow-up system and I'll call you whenever. You call it for sale by owner and they say, no, I don't want to pay a commission. I just started and I'm getting a lot of activity. You can call me next month. Oh, okay, I've been told for sale by owners, you got to call them over and over and it can take weeks or months. Okay, so now what you're hearing matches your belief. So you're not even going to try to handle this objection. You'll just put him on your lead follow-up. And what is going to happen here is you are going to call them back and you're going to find out that they listed with somebody else. Or you're going to try to call them back and they never answer the phone again. How do I know? Because it happens to my clients all the time because they don't listen to me. They don't do what I say. Eventually they learn. And it happened to me all the time. One of the biggest frustrations I had my first couple of years in real estate is getting what I thought were great leads and then, again, never being able to get a hold of this lead again. And you leave messages and they don't call you back. And the worst of all is to actually think that you have a great lead and when you call them back, I already listed. Ooh. That was one of the most painful experiences for me. So here's another problem that having this belief that you got to have a lot of leads and keep calling people back and eventually you're going to get business, it gives you a false sense of abundance. You live with this expectation that it's going to get better, that you're even, some of these leads are going to convert. And they don't. A very small percentage, irrelevant percentage is actually going to convert. And you don't prioritize the leads that may actually be doing something really, really soon. What do I mean by this? Some agents have hundreds of leads. Now, I had a lot of leads, again, like I said, my first 2 years in real estate, because I was calling a lot of just listed, just sold, circle prospecting type of calls. And those are long-term business. So I'm following up with these people. The problem is that I was also calling FSBOs and expireds, and I thought that I also needed to follow up with these people. I was brand new. I didn't know what I was doing. So I had a lot of leads. About my third, fourth year in real estate, that changed completely. And that's when I became really productive and stopped wasting my time. So here's what happens. Some agents have, like I said, 200 or 300 leads. Imagine that. I hope it's not you. You're not one of them. And you have all of these leads you accumulated from different places. Maybe some came from an open house, some came from you bought some leads online, and maybe some came from referrals that you received. Some you send out some letters or postcards. Some may even have been from prospecting. Okay, so you got all of these leads there. And I hopefully, even if you have a system for your leads, which you should have, right? Some kind of lead follow-up system. The problem is when you have so many leads, there may be one in the midst of this whole bunch of stuff you have that will list their house with an agent today. The problem is when you have that many, you don't prioritize who you need to call. This week's leads, next month and next year, you treat them all the same. And so obviously that one that's going to list this week is going to get lost in the shuffle because you don't prioritize. It's what happens with everyone. And by the way, I wrote this down. The leads that you have, you're not the only one that has them. Every other agent out there has the same leads. So you think that a seller, I mean, not only they're getting calls from other agents, they're walking into other open houses, whatever you're doing, everybody else has your leads also. And what the problem that creates for you also is that one lead that's going to sign a listing agreement with someone this week, you gotta catch them at the right time. They're getting calls from all of these other agents. The seller's sitting there. Not only other agents have their leads, but the seller also has one or two or several friends in real estate. One of their neighbors is a real estate agent. There's the neighborhood specialist. So you're not the only one. It's not like they're sitting there and waiting for your call to list with you. Whoever catches them at the right time is the one that's going to take the listing. Wait, I'm going to give you the solution, okay? Because maybe right now you're thinking, well, I could see the problem here. I'll help you. In summary, thinking that leads will get you listings is an illusion. Then I wrote this down. How many great leads do you need to sell 30 homes in the next 12 months? Here's the answer. 30. You want to sell 30 homes? All you need is 30 great leads, and not leads that you're going to follow up on. You need to get a hold of someone, and instead of letting them become a lead, you need to actually set an appointment the first time you speak with them. Imagine that. 100% possible. Then I wrote down, following up on all of these leads over and over, old leads, is one of the biggest ways that real estate agents waste a lot of time and money, because time is money. There are real estate agents out there that work 50 and 60 hours a week, and a whole month goes by and they don't sell a home. 70% of agents last year didn't sell a single home. They sold 0 homes. And if you ask them, they actually work in real estate. It's kind of crazy. So it's next. I want to give you the definition of a lead. A lead is someone who you've had a conversation with and they're interested in selling. Since I only talk about listings, they're interested in selling, not buying. The question is, when? Because not every one that you speak with want to sell the house right now. Some want to sell now, some may want to sell next year, some may be a couple of years. So every lead or prospect is not equal. And again, the accumulation of leads, not only the good ones get lost in the shuffle, but it's also overwhelming. If you talk to them, again, we're talking about problems, right? You talk to a prospect today and you don't set an appointment, someone else is going to call them after you and will take that listing. They're not going to sit there waiting for your call. Another agent calls, says the right thing the right way at the right time. That's it. They set the appointment and take the listing, especially with the hot prospects like for sale by owners and expired listings. That's where the immediate business is. Then I wrote this down. Getting leads is a mindset, and setting appointments on the first call is also a mindset. So you need to shift the way that you're doing business, shift your beliefs. And again, I know this is not easy because it goes against everything that you hear from everybody else out there. So it's like, oh, what's going on here? I've been doing this the wrong way. Well, if you're doing it the right way and you're calling expireds and FSBOs, I keep talking about them because obviously they want to sell. So if you're doing it the right way and you're calling the right people with the right script and at the right time, you can be taking 3, 4, or 5 listings a week, every week, consistently. So clearly, if that is not happening for you, there is a problem. Top listing agents set appointments on the first call. Top listing agents have very few leads. It's not like they don't have any leads, but they have very few. And the goal for me with this video for you is for you to learn from my 29 years of experience in real estate. You don't have to make the same mistakes. You can start doing things correctly and making money right now. So here are the solutions that I wrote down for you. Number 1, operate as if lead follow-up doesn't exist. It's now or never. Every call you are on, somebody answers the phone, you are not going to take no for an answer when a yes is still possible. And I know if you're calling expireds and FSBOs, how often do real estate agents hang up the phone and the minute they hang up, they know. I don't know what I could have said here, but somebody else is gonna end up with that listing because they knew that a yes was possible. They just didn't know how to get to it. Number 2, I wrote down, you have to be very selective about who becomes a lead for you. And they're only gonna become a lead for you. Write this down. After you exhausted every possibility of setting an appointment with everyone that you talk to. Can you honestly say you're doing that on every call? Exhausted. I mean, I gave it my all. I did everything I could. I used Jackie's scripts. I know how to handle the job. I mean, I kept going and going and going. I tell my clients to play the hang-up game. You cannot hang up on them. They have to hang up on you. That's the game. And you're going to understand in this business, the more you get hung up on, again, the more money you'll make. Because no one, doesn't matter how great someone is, nobody sets an appointment with everyone that they talk to. The question is, are you giving it your all on every call? And that's the only way that you could actually end up with a lead. And I wrote down the 10% rule. If you talk to 10 people today, you could only end up with 1 lead. If you talk to 20, 10% is 2. That's the amount of leads that you are allowed to keep on any given day based on the number of people you're talking to. Why? Because if you talk to 20 expireds and for sale by owners and you end up with 5 or 8 leads, I know you are not giving it all you've got on the call. I know you're not asking for the appointment 5, 6, 7 times until you get it. Oh my gosh, but that sounds crazy. Ask for the appointment that many times, they're gonna think I'm being pushy. Not if you do it the way that I teach you to do it. Okay, not when you're talking about the benefit for them, when you're asking great questions, when you sound interested and interesting, when you use the right words, you're not going to come across pushy at all. But the 10% rule, that is going to force you to become better at what you do. And when you become better, you take more listings and make more money. Then I wrote this down. You have to be obsessive about following up on the leads that you have. And again, if you apply the 10% rule and you do everything that I've just talked about, it's easy to be obsessive. And obsessive means you are going to follow up on your leads. If it's a for sale by owner or an expired listing and you end up with a lead, you got to call them 2 or 3 times a week. That's what obsessive is. And if they don't answer the phone, you're going to call again the same day, and you're going to call in the evening. You're going to stay on it. Again, if you have hundreds of leads, this is literally impossible. And this is so important because expired listings and for sale by owners, they do not wait long to list at all. Expired listings, 40 to 50% relist the property within 2 or 3 days. For sale by owners, list with the first agent that can show them that it makes financial sense to pay their commission. That doesn't take long. It's a skills-based business, and these are all learned skills. If you're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, well, I don't know how to do any of this, you can learn. And when you learn, you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars a year taking listings and getting them sold. Then I wrote this down. What is the value of a lead? The answer is 0. There is no value to keeping a lead. The value is in the seller that answers the phone and the conversation that you have with them. That is the value. That is what makes you money. There's an opportunity cost for you on every single conversation that you have. So accumulating leads have no value whatsoever. So I have a final assignment for you, okay? So you could fix all of this. Call every single lead that you have within the next 7 days. Everyone. You have 100, 200, 300 more, hopefully not. You're going to call all of them. And you're either going to set an appointment with them or you're going to throw that lead away. And if they don't answer the phone, you're going to leave a message. Hi, this is Jackie, real estate agent. We spoke last week. I'm calling you because I'd like to set up a 20-minute meeting to talk to you about how I can sell your home quickly and for the most money possible. Please call me at blah, blah, blah. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. That's it. Throw it away. So you leave a message and you throw them away. Oh my gosh, but what if I have leads there? Listen, you got to declutter this thing. You got to start fresh. You got to create a sense of urgency. When you have all these leads, I said in the beginning of this video, you have a false sense of abundance in your business or security. You have none. When you have no leads, you start every day with a huge sense of urgency. So call all of your leads, set an appointment or throw them away, leave a message and throw them away. And I finally wrote this down. Stop beating a dead horse. That was one of the best pieces of advice that I received in real estate. And following up on leads over and over and over is beating a dead horse. It's not going to make you money. If you have any questions, please write them in the description of this video. I will answer them for you. I trust you're going to apply what I offered you here and start taking listings and making a fortune.